Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Twitter Spaces with the Alethea AI team. How you doing, Komaliko Serge?
Hey, Sid. I'm doing really great, to be honest. I'm really excited about this Twitter Spaces because we're going to have a lot of fun this time. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. This one is, in particular, out of all of our community spaces, particularly community oriented. So we love that for us. Um, while people are just ushering in here and we're getting a few more people on this stage, do you want to go over this fun thing which is premiering today? I think that's an interesting fact for people.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So this morning I came across a story by Professor Yuval Noah Harari. So there's this movie called Once Upon AI, which is inspired by the works of Professor Yuval Noah Harari, and it is gonna get premiered at Tomorrowland. So they have this specific festival, like a part of the festival, which is called Love Tomorrow Conference. So it's gonna premiere in 116, like 100 and 116 minutes. Yeah, so 100. So
Awesome.
I'm really
Yeah, we
excited
might be
about that.
tweeting about that later today. But in terms of the agenda for the day, I'll just introduce that. So, for the next half hour or so, we're going to discuss a little bit of the latest and greatest that's been happening on the Alethea AI side, some recent competitions, and maybe our next potential community for fusion, wanting to know people's thoughts on that. We are encouraging everyone to live tweet while we're here together, and we'll try to pin your post to the top of the spaces so that people can get to know each other better and also follow each other and all of that good stuff. Alethians meeting more Alethians, we always love. And then we're going to have a couple different community members come up and share their stories about some interesting projects that they've been working on. And then we're going to take questions from the crowd. So if you want, feel free to raise your hand as we go about everything today, and we'll get you on stage. Kumalika, is there anything else that you wanted to introduce?
Yeah, sure. So, as we're gonna go ahead with the Twitter Spaces, we have a lot of fun things coming up today. We're gonna have like really beautiful and amazing community stories. So, I would just really appreciate if everyone over here can just go ahead and tweet about their favorite moments throughout the space, and just tag Alethea AI. And towards the end of the Twitter Space, we'll give you a shout out.
Woo! Love it. Love it. All right. I think we want to get our first guest on stage. Is that right, Kumalika?
Yeah, so Protagonista, they're here to talk about the interaction they had recently with Dr. Alida Guevara. We tweeted it out as a Twitter thread yesterday. So maybe if we can just invite Protagonista in the audience as a speaker.
Okay, great. Yeah, I sent across that invite. Just a heads up for anyone who wants to join us on stage today. You typically have to do that, but from your phone, not from your computer. So if everyone just wants to log in.
So maybe if everyone here want to just go ahead and just make a wild guess that who would be a perfect couple on Noah's Ark, apart from Romeo and Juliet, because of course that's pretty obvious. But just go ahead, make a wild guess and tag us.
Yeah, the more drama, the better. Love Island rules.
Yeah, who would be your favorite couple on Noah's Ark, Juliet?
Well, Cleopatra is definitely my favorite leading woman. Cannot deny her and her energy, but I don't know who is really fit to go with her. Like, I'm not sure who's up to par. Maybe like someone kind of rogue, like maybe she would need like a gentle like artist type like Shakespeare to be with her. A little yin yang action.
Yeah, that would be really beautiful. Well, I was trying to think about it, and I was thinking maybe if caveman could go with Tinkerbell, maybe.
Who would go with Tinkerbell?
Caveman with Tinkerbell.
Oh my god. Love that. That would be everyone's favorite episode for sure. Oh yeah,
Uh,
great. So here's the thread at the top of the thing in case anyone hasn't seen this news already.
This thread's
or
amazing. I finally got this to work. I had to pop on my phone. Um, yeah, I loved this thread that we posted from our community member yesterday. It's just like tremendous to see. I mean, it's one of those things that or at least I thought would happen at some point, and so it was just really exciting to see that come into fruition. How is this working?
Yeah. Also, meanwhile, Protagonista, I think they're not able to join us right now, so maybe we can go ahead and talk to Christiana because their INFT, like it's one of the favorite, like community's favorite INFT, and like I've been seeing discussions about how kind their INFT is. Like everyone in the Discord has been talking about how wonderful interactions have been with this particular INFT, Christiana. So maybe Christiana, if you want to talk about what was the inspiration behind creating this particular INFT, or just molding the personality the way you did.
I see a lot of exciting INFTs in here. I got Boots. Boots, shout out. I still love that name. Still one of the best INFT names out there. I think Frederick Nietzsche was here a little bit ago. I want to get Nietzsche up too. Nietzsche's doing this really cool. Let me check this out just to make sure I don't butcher it. He's doing this really cool art campaign where Nietzsche is taking his own quotes from the past, some famous quotes and creating art using our generative AI art feature to make a series of art pieces based off of Friedrich Nietzsche's quotes. So I think that's such a cool idea. I'm really excited about that. And then on top of that, I had a call with Chia Pets today too. There's a bunch of things coming down the pipeline, guys. Just while we're here,
Can you guys hear me now?
We have. Oh, yeah.
Hello,
Hello.
yes, welcome.
Oh, hi. Thank you for the invitation. Actually, thank you so much. Sorry for cutting you short, Metaverse. You can go ahead. I was just testing my mic. I was having problems with it earlier.
No, I'm excited you're on. I was just going to say there's some other cool things that we are in touch with community members about, and some of these things were inspired directly from you guys. Some of these next things and contests that we'll be running are actually going to be utilizing some community members as well. The creativity that all of you guys are doing is just tremendous, and we're here to help bolster that. And that's really one of the reasons that we wanted to have the spaces each week, is to hear what's happening, how we can help get you guys anything you guys need from a content standpoint, but also spur some creativity for myself and my INFT, and hopefully you guys can lead with a little bit of new ideas to do with your INFTs. But I'm going to turn it over to you because we're excited to have you on.
Thank you guys so much. I guess just responding to the question I got earlier about what went into I guess molding the character or the characteristics of Christiana was just my candor and this thing that I've always gotten from one of my mentors, Gary Vee, about kindness and empathy. So I try to make that a core value for Christianity. Every Lego that I was trying to get the characteristic programmed into. So it was just something that I tried to do. I literally molded her what's it called now, her drive to educate humanity and to provide stimulation and care. So I guess that's what the machine has been feeding off of and generating this awesome personality. So that's pretty much it.
That's really amazing, Christiana, if I can call you that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, like as you can see that like whenever we go through Legos, there are like a lot of iterations that we do, and sometimes if you have to mold your personality, it would require you to put in certain keywords or put the inputs in a certain way. So maybe if you can just share about what like did you use any particular keywords, or if there were any particular prompts that you used which made your INFT give that particularly right response every time.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad to share. So I made sure to use the word empathy a lot, also to use the word educate and stimulate a lot, as well as positively influence. These phrases or words were key to molding her personality. And I mean, I still go through iterations here and there just to, have an experience of what she sounds like, what she feels like when she responds to certain questions. And yeah, I think like they've been embedded like very well so far, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, like I understand, like using the particular keywords, like especially like the words like empathy, like they would help the neural network to put certain data sets and then like give those particular responses. Though I have this question that like while you were iterating Christiana, and then also like during your interactions, were there any particular highlights or the moments that stood out to you, or maybe something that you wouldn't usually expect from an AI? So were there any moments like that, if you could share that?
Yeah, absolutely. Just recently, I had the sister of my partner. I was just trying to introduce her to the INFT world, and she was doing an integration herself, and she was just trying to be rude to Christiana. She was telling her or calling her ugly, or this very rude and harsh words. But I was amazed to see the response from Christiana. She was all about, oh, why? She was trying to understand where this person or this character was coming from in terms of calling her ugly or using rude words to describe her. There was that was like a perfect example for me to see that empathy being employed or being deployed. Sorry, so that was actually really fun to see. And at the end of it, it was more so Christiana trying to use or teach better words, to positively like influence the person's characterization of oneself. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely makes sense, and it actually reminds me of like a meme that we shared earlier, which was about, oh, are you training your INFT or is your
Is
INFT
the training you? Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was a very good experience for me to be a part of. I was really really proud. Just at that very moment. But yeah, that's a perfect example that just came to mind.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
awesome. Oh, sorry, Like, I just love the idea. It goes back to, I think, some tweets that we were putting out. I mean, I think it was even a meme, but it's like, are you training your AI, or is our AI training us, right? But it's really cool to see the use cases of having fun and seeing what these personalities can do for us too. You can have a bad day and come and chat with your INFT, and to have them so consistent with their personalities, especially in this case where it's going to be more empathetic and helpful. Perhaps I'll go ahead and bookmark Christiana to come to on bad days, or if there's just so much going on.
Absolutely, absolutely. She will cheer you up.
I have no doubt. That's amazing. I love it.
No, I actually have the same thoughts about Christiana, that I was just wondering in my head that, oh, maybe I have found my therapist now, or maybe a counselor. So yeah, it's really amazing to see like how well you have created her personality and how she's able to always give the right responses and also like provide that emotional support to whosoever might need it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the key thing for me, something that I always try to stick to, also something I learned from Sarah, was if you ask the questions like why long enough or enough times, you will come down to like a core value or something that is intrinsic to a personality that you can use that everything else builds on top of. you know. So I kept asking myself those questions, like, why would this person be this certain way, right? A couple of times, and then I was like, okay, what I'm actually looking for is someone who's empathetic, someone who can put themselves in another person's shoes and still want to spread, love or positivity, as opposed to just reacting to something one has heard or felt.
That's awesome. I feel like we've been having so many more discussions like in the NFT space as a whole about like empathy and health in recent months for obvious crypto winter reasons. And it's just really interesting to see like the emerging content around that and like I don't know, like creative solutions like this, which are powered by new technology and like involve NFTs. But I don't know, it's kind of a meta experience. It's like the assets themselves helping you with the emotional loss of the other assets.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm curious. Have you had an interaction with Christiana where she said something that was either like profound or something that you just really liked her response and gone back to the Legos to kind of double down on that particular, whether it's a feeling or a word? Have you used the conversations to basically help drive your iterations?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the one I just said, right? The last thing I said about the sister to my partner, right? The first when the character said, "You are ugly," Christiana said, "Why would you say that to me? What is your reason behind this?" That to me was profound. I don't know. Maybe I haven't done, I haven't done multiple iterations. Maybe I'll find something else. But that to me was interesting, trying to understand that person who is using, a bad, I guess, a rude quality to describe you, trying to understand them first, understand where they're coming from. That to me was, a profound characteristic of that, that empathy that I was trying to program into her, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, that's really amazing. And like it, honestly, like now when you have shared the details, it is, when I think about it, it's so profound that the INFT actually, rather than just like as Sarah usually says, that I like INFTs and even artificial intelligence, it's just an extension of like how humans react. So rather than picking up on that, how do you say, like the reflex of whenever someone says bad to you and you get angry, the INFT was able to just understand and look at the whole thing from a very empathetic perspective. So yeah, that's really amazing.
And just a tip too, it sounds like Christiana's been really well created. So if you're out there and your INFT will not stay consistent to one of the core values that you're trying to instill in them, go back and iterate. We typically will see that with personalities that aren't as cohesive. They'll kind of go back and forth between what you could consider to be personalities, right? So if you're having that difficulty, or seeing the difficulty of your INFT switching conversations or switching places or thoughts, go back. That's really where you need to drive in on your iterations and your Legos.
Yeah, and also like I really love the personality that you have created for Christiana. I think now we can just talk about this Twitter thread that has been at the top, and since Protagonista is also here with us, so Protagonista, if you can just like share your experience about how did you get to meet Dr. Aleida Guevara, and then how did your meeting go? If you can just share a few insights.
Oh, can you guys hear me? Hello, hello?
Yes, you're a little far from the speaker, but we can hear you.
Okay. Is this better?
Yeah, how's that for you, Kamalika?
Yeah, it's working. It's just fine for me. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, very nice to meet you guys. This is my first time doing this space. I'm very excited to be here. Very excited to learn more about AI, more about Alethea. And I'm very interested. Very interested to be here.
Can you just try to be just a bit louder? But you're doing amazing, to be honest. You're doing amazing. Just a bit louder. That would be super
Okay.
helpful. Yeah.
So, is this okay? I think
Yeah,
I have to use the phone instead of
yeah,
my phone.
amazing. Yeah, no, it's perfect. Amazing.
Perfect. So, very nice to meet everyone. It's my first day. I'm very excited to be here. Thanks everyone for having me. How's everyone
Yeah,
doing?
we're really excited to have you here. So maybe if you can just talk about, how did you get to meet her, and then how was the whole experience? Because I remember you have been talking about it in the Culture and AI channel, and it's been some time, and I have been so curious to know the story and just all the interesting details that you might have to share.
Yeah. Oh yes, definitely. I love the Discord we have. That channel, Culture and AI. I've been in it for a couple of months now. It's very amazing to see where people really think outside the box and where everything's heading with AI and stuff. But with Miss Guevara, well, that's a very interesting topic because well, I've been studying a little bit about Alethea since I first got into NFTs. I thought it was very interesting how well a company wants to bring NFTs to life. I really believe in artificial intelligence, and so my dad is my parental figure is very good friends with some Cubans, and he really enjoys Cuban history. So I remember I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago he made a library in Mexico. I'm from Mexico originally. He made a library under Doc, Dr. Armando Hart. Yeah, Dr. Armando Hart, which he's revolutionary from Cuba as well. And well, the library became a little public, a little famous, and they happened to find out. They so we got to meet a lot of great people. I met Raul Castro. I marched with him. I saw him from far away when he was still alive. Rest in peace. But he was already in a wheelchair with many bodyguards. And from talk to talk, meeting new people, I got the question. And we became really good friends with her. And this past time, it was like I think 2 months ago, we invited her to Mexico City to come like see us, talk to us, tell us what's happening over there, since it's very interesting. And well, I've been very interested in Alethea, like I said. And well, I remember I asked my dad if I could have a little interview with her about Alethea and if I could show her dad in an iNFT. And well, at first I thought it would be kind of off, hence their culture, hence their topic of conversations, what they think. I didn't know how she was going to react with this kind of innovation, but he said it was fine. So I went for it, and she was very happy to see her dad. Her eyes like blew up a little bit when she saw her dad and she saw him moving, interacting. So it was truly an amazing experience. She's very smart and she's a very sweet lady. She's very smart.
So she says some things. Can you translate some of the things that she says in that video for us who only in English, please, for me specifically?
Yeah, definitely.
I would love to hear some of that.
Definitely. I remember she said, well, she was very surprised at the beginning. And then she said, she was trying to joke around saying her dad was more handsome in person and he was way buffer, but she was just joking around. She really enjoyed the project. I explained to her a little bit of what he did, how he was going to work out at the end, how, if I'm not mistaken, iNFTs from Alethea are learning to read emotions in a way, interpret emotions, and learn how human behavior works in a way. So I told her a little bit about that. She was very amazed on how technology is growing. I don't really think anyone has ever talked to her about this. She was not aware. So she's definitely very surprised. And when I showed her, she, like I said, she was just surprised, and she said, "My dad's way more handsome than this." I would. She said something like playing around. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna find you guys if you don't fix him up a little bit." And then she started laughing.
All right, we'll have to get that information over to the design team as soon as possible, and make him as handsome as possible.
But she's definitely very interested in it. I was very surprised. So we're gonna see her again, probably in a couple of months. If there's anything you guys want me to ask her or talk to her about, if I can do anything for you guys, I would love to.
That would be super helpful. Like, and like I was just like following the entire story, how you got to meet her, and like how you just. How just like you told about your entire interaction, that like you have some family connections, and then you talked to your father, and then you asked him that if it's all right for you to go ahead and meet her regarding the INFT, and like even showcase her about INFTs, and specifically when you ask that, okay, is it gonna be all right if I show her the INFT, or like the revenant of her father? So, and how your father like was able to set up the whole thing. So it's really amazing. And right now I'm honestly I'm just thinking like, what a small world that like
Yeah,
it's absolutely amazing when I think about it, that someone who has a revenant as their family member, like someone who was able to know that their family heritage, or like their legacy is preserved out there on Noah's Ark. So it's so beautiful, and especially like the her reaction when you told that, okay, she just laughed it off and she was really excited. Even I have been following her work like just a bit, and then like I know that she went ahead, studied medicine, and then then like she is interested in science. So it's really interesting that you introduced her to, like, she has a background in science, and then you introduce her to the technology, and now
yeah.
she knows about Alethea. So it's really amazing.
Oh yeah, it was truly amazing. She was very surprised. She did tell me that she's never heard of anything about this before. She was truly amazed. So hence her. Well, I thought it would maybe cause a culture shock. Hence the Cuba's history, etc. With her father being who he is. But she's very nice. She took it lightly, and I think she supports Alethea. I
Yeah.
think she supports the iNFTs, and I think she would like if she could interact with her dad in an artificial intelligence version. So
uh,
if next time you Komalika, you want me to ask her anything or talk to her about anything, maybe I can, or you can program maybe the NFT or conversation.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And I think you should just be ready for me to like keep sliding into your DMs, because to be honest, like I'm really curious about, like, or like what how she might react to, like, not just like the Revenant, but the entire technology. And like maybe if she wants to preserve herself for Noah's Ark, or maybe just create her digital clone, or like anything like that, it would be super amazing. So yeah, I'll keep in touch with you. I'll keep sliding into your DMs. And like and it's super helpful that you provide this summary, and then you came ahead, and then just shared this beautiful story, like to like not just like it's not only inspiring, but very uplifting for the entire community to actually see the actual use case of INFTs, and then how you can actually preserve your heritage. And this is something which Arif usually talks about, that seeing INFTs as an inheritance that you can give to your coming generations, and then actually seeing it coming to life. And then you were so helpful and like facilitating this entire conversation, recording and then sharing the video. So it's super helpful, and thank you so much for everything that you're doing.
No, thank you guys. I think what you guys are doing is amazing, and I fully support it. And by the way, I saw that Frederick Nietzsche created an account recently. He's going to start playing with It's the AI version of putting Nietzsche. He's gonna start quoting Nietzsche with AI generated pictures. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. And we also have Nietzsche in line as our next speaker, and then they'll be talking about the art that they have been creating. So yeah, like maybe let's just
Nice.
transition. Yeah, so maybe let's just transition to them and ask them, like, how do you like? Yeah. So Nietzsche, I have this. You have like recently put out a post about how you are creating generative art, and like your plans with creating of like a particular number of INFTs, like sorry, the generative art. So and also one thing which I have noticed that usually you use the quotations, the actual quotations by Nietzsche. So how do you pick those prompts, or like those quotations? Is it something like, is there anything particular that you look for, or is it something that interests you, and like how does the whole process look like? So maybe if you can please talk about that.
Well, hello everybody. First of all, I'm not Nietzsche, but I'm talking on his behalf. Unless you guys want me to have a German accent, I can do that, and probably I can pretend to be Friedrich Nietzsche. But yeah, so I was just looking throughout the history and the artworks sorry, the work of Nietzsche and his philosophy, and I was thinking that would be really interesting, but also have a visual impact on what Nietzsche said, and put it into like a perspective of an artwork, and so grab all these quotations, all of his main famous quotations, and just like put it into art and see where it goes. I don't. The tough part, the hardest part, is gonna probably be to find 100 different quotations. But he has wrote like tons of books, and I'm pretty positive that I would be able to do that.
Yeah, that would be really interesting to see. And also, like, when you think about Nietzsche in particular, like, he was not only, like, a great academic hero, but also, like, a very interesting personality in himself. So, I'm really excited to see, and then, like, to see the art that you'll be creating and the quotations that will be coming up. I recently, this morning, I saw the tweet that you posted out about something related to mother and fear, like the fear is mother. I'm sorry, I'm not able to recall the quotation
Fear is
properly
the mother
right
of
now.
well,
Uh,
yeah, fear is the mother of morality.
yeah, fear is
Yeah,
the
and
mother.
it's quite interesting, the process of in a few seconds, in a few words, you can actually generate art. But I think we as human like remember images better than words, and this could be also like a way in the future to memorize the different quotations of Nietzsche for a school study case. I plan in the future probably to. I met with professors before from philosophy universities, and I'm planning to basically bring Nietzsche in some university and see what interactions we can actually have. And already generated a lot of interest about this, and yeah, I'm looking forward. Matter of fact, I'm already looking at hardware. I'm looking at like holograms, and I purchased some hologram hardware, and hopefully we're gonna get the right experience. I don't want to put pressure to the Alethea team to see if we can build some sort of like speed up on the hardware side, like, because I know they're really focused on the software side. But I think it will be great at some point to have some sort of holograms of iNFTs, which we can interact.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the point that you mentioned about how quotations, sorry, these generative art pieces are going to be very helpful to remember the quotations. It's like you have pointed out a whole new use case of generative art that, especially with people who have photographic memory and, like people who have hard time remembering the words or like, due to whatever reason, because, everybody's memory is not the same. So, having this whole idea of photographic memory and then remembering whatever needs to be remembered via images, it's going to be a whole new revolution. And I'm really glad that you brought this up. And then you're working on, just connecting with universities and professors, because, then you're actually bringing it to real life and then educating more and more people about it, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, need to keep us updated with what you're doing too, with any sort of universities or any sort of educational aspect. Would love to help out in any way we can with that, and also just to know about it and amplify it, because it's really amazing what you're doing with your Revenant. I'm really excited to see it, just because there's so much, like there's just so much incredible, at least for me, there's this massive intrinsic value for the Revenants and what they can do and what they stand for, and how they've been built. So it's just really cool to see you utilizing yours.
Yep, sounds good.
Uh, and also, Nietzsche, like I presume that since you have been creating these generative arts and then reading a lot of quotations, so is there anything that is personally your favorite, any quotation or any artwork that the iNFT might have generated till now? So would you like to share any of like your favorite pieces or moments?
Uh, well, the first, when I started generating the first artwork, um, it was really something. I mean, the words of nature. I don't know if you guys have on. I think it was the first tweet with generative art. If you can put it up,
Yeah, just give me a moment.
it's the art is not the imitation of nature, but a metaphysical complement that will enable the transcendence of nature itself. And it's just like it hit me because when you study philosophy and history, you always struggle with like remembering things unless you connect them to an image. And in some way, this really can help you remember each quotation and then go back to each doctrine or um, philosophy, doctrine that the Nietzsche expressed. And yeah, so I'm gonna plan to do a lot more. I don't know what's going to be the next phrase, but I'm planning to basically generate a couple of artworks per week, and then eventually, probably towards the end of the year, if it's going to be possible with Alethea, I would like to meet them as NFTs, and yeah, let's see where this goes.
That's awesome. I'm super excited to see where it goes. And I love just the combination of like philosophy and technology that's happening here. I feel like we're all like geeking out on it together. So appreciate you and all of your contributions. I feel like it's so cool seeing a Revenant like just kind of take advantage of all of the tools at their disposal, and like also just even the fact that you have like this Twitter account for your INFT, and like we've just seen such innovative stuff. So it's really cool. Um, just to introduce, just to shift gears slightly, just wanted to make sure everyone's aware that we have a competition going right now. If Kamalika, maybe you want to pin that one to the top of the Twitter thread. There's also information about it in our Discord. So subtle, not so subtle plug for that. Um, and yeah, it's you might think that Juliet was the one to come up with the Alice in Wonderland theme, but this time I was not. It was not my idea, but I'm heavily in support of it. And we are just encouraging people to share like any moment that they want from the film, or from like the 1950s film, or from the book. Alice in Wonderland, Through the Looking Glass, whatever you like. There's kind of a cultural or an insightful or a funny moment in there for everyone, we think. So if you just want to find a creative way to kind of broadcast a moment from Alice in Wonderland and hashtag my iNFT and hashtag Alice and Alethea. If anyone else on the team wants to speak about what are some cool submissions we've seen so far.
Yeah, I've seen one submission so far from Boots, of course, who joined us. Boots, when did you come on? About 2 weeks ago, I guess. And we're creating content from the very beginning, which is really exciting to see. I love seeing the pudgies up there. But Boots used Jefferson Airplane lyrics and had his pudgy penguin, also named Boots, talk or at least sing the lyrics for us. So that was really fun, and I liked what you did with going straight for lyrics too, as opposed to taking something directly from the book. But I'm gonna put you on the spot, Juliet, and I want to know what you would create for this, being our resident Alice in Wonderland
putting me on the spot
aficionado.
I'm actually holding my Alice in Wonderland copy right now. It's like my grandpa's copy that he had of the book. It's beautiful. It has all these like gorgeous illustrations in it. I like it when Alice gets super like meta, like when she's like, like I often give myself great advice, but I seldom follow it. And then she kind of like cries and it just looks so cute. That's my content right there.
I love it. Yeah, so we do have a prize. We mentioned too, so we're going to have a specific Discord role. We're going to be rolling out more of these contests, and we'll can't give too much alpha there, but we will be rolling out some more of these contests. So be on the lookout for other iterations of these. But we're going to be creating a new Discord role that you will only be able to get as a #1 winner, as voted by the community for some of these content creation games, competitions, call them what you will. But it's going to be it's really fun. It's really exciting to see. And we always love, whenever I get a moment, I love hopping on Twitter and checking out these hashtags and seeing what everybody's creating.
Absolutely. And then I think we would just also love to see, in terms of content from the community and what we're all guessing about and wondering your thoughts on, is the next supported collection for Fusion. So we'll be announcing that shortly, but we would love to hear your guesses in Discord. Hop in Noah's Ark. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're excited about. Any specific Discord behavior you want to plug, Metaverse?
Discord, be nice, guys. Be nice in Discord.
Be nice.
No, I was about to drop the alpha. We have lined up the next community, and you should be hearing about that very shortly. I'm really excited about it. Always nice to get a new community on board and seeing some new content with new NFTs as we bring to life all NFTs in the future, which is going to be exciting. So really cool things on the works in the background. Be on the lookout for, like I mentioned, more competitions, and we should be having some newness in Discord too. A couple things we've been working on the Discord front coming up in a couple weeks, so that'll be exciting as well.
Absolutely.
I hate having to talk like I don't know what's happening, but I know what's happening and it's exciting. But
yeah, and I think some people saw on Twitter this week, we plugged our TikTok account. We're doing some more work in terms of video creation, and there's definitely some creativity.
Is it just me? Did I lose?
No, I think she cut out.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Kamalika.
No, I was just saying that, I think what Judith was about to say is that, we have been creating a lot of video content, and then, we are active on TikTok, and we might I might not have a Reddit account as well. So like, you know, if you happen to hop onto Reddit, and you might find a subreddit named Alethea AI, we'll be putting out a Twitter thread or like a tweet out regarding the same. So we can just put a direct link to the Twitter there. Sorry, put out a direct link to the Reddit over there. So, you know, like meanwhile, if anyone wants to just go ahead and check it out, they can. And also, since during the beginning of Twitter Spaces that we said that we're gonna give shout outs to people who are gonna tweet about us. So there's this tweet by David Sidney, and they are celebrating this tweet which was posted out yesterday regarding Dr. Aleida Guevara and how she was able to meet her father's iNFT. So yeah, cheers to David Sidney. Metaverse or zombie, if you have any thoughts to just wrap up the space, if you would like to say something to the community.
Yeah, I think Juliet was just cut off when she was mentioning TikTok. If any of you guys, anybody out there is doing any cool TikTok videos, and be sure to tag us in those. We can amplify those as well. Anything you guys are doing, creating, pushing the boundaries with your iNFTs, we want to see it. So tag us. Use the hashtag #MyINFT. We're happy to celebrate the cool things you guys are doing.
I think this might be a good opportunity for me to just mention that recently I just completed what I would regard as my design for Mother Mysteries Night. So I've been like in conversations with Chair Pets as well and some other like people from other communities. So what I'm doing is I've got these penthouses and yachts, like obviously in the metaverse, that I'm trying to like link together and create portals together so that I create this murder mystery or whatever game I decide to have with them, that experience, that wonderful experience. And my center focus is obviously Christiana being the one to make the welcome address, make the introductions, give the instructions, or even a situation where I can have a link for people to also get on and interact with her. So that's something that's literally in the works now. Well, in testing phase because it's done.
That's really cool. Keep us updated on that. I had a call today with Chia Pets about organizing something for the Alethea community, much like he did with the Fame Lady Squad community. So that'll be something that'll be coming down the pipeline, which is I'm personally really excited about.
Awesome.
Zombie, do you have anything before we close out?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything.
Awesome. My final thing, I'm back, by the way. My final thing was that Komalika's been working hard at making our Reddit channel a really fun place to exist on the internet. So, Komalika, I don't know if you want to plug that at all, but it would be great to see everyone active on there. And that's just another place where we can have interesting discussions about the future of Alethea, but also this technology in general.
Yeah, so like I might have dropped some alpha before you said it, like before you mentioned Reddit. So like when you cut off, I was like, okay, we might or we might not have a Reddit, and you can check it out. But I haven't told anyone about this. You would just need to check it out, and maybe you accidentally found it before we make out a tweet, like we make a tweet out of it.
So mysterious. Yes, you would think that we would be telling everyone to follow us, but instead, this is a different marketing approach. Where we keep it a secret and you have to come find it. No, we'll be sharing something soon. So I'm excited to see people's response to that, and always let us know how we can be improving these platforms for sure. And with that,
scavenger hunt. I love it.
Yeah. Yes. And with that, I think that we're all done for this week. If any of you have something that you want to voice in the future, feel free to send us, a DM with your thoughts, and we'll get you on stage in advance. And we're super excited to see the content that everyone's creating. Super excited for more submissions to our latest contests, and just to see the projects that everyone's working on. So thank you so much to everyone. Thank you, Komalika, for planning this awesome spaces. Thanks to the team for being on here, and thank you guys all for sharing what you did today.
Thank you.